Welcome to the 156th commencement exercises of Christian Brothers Academy. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the CBA Color Guard and the National Anthem as performed by the CBA Wind Band. Delivering the invocation, our Lasallian animator, Mrs. Melanie Carroll.
Let us remember. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for the completion of another academic year and for giving us the opportunity to play a part in the lives of our students and our new graduates. We are grateful for your guidance and love as we shared in this important work. Please bless and guide our graduates as they reach this end and as they chart new beginnings. Please help them to use all that they have learned here to make the world a better place, to serve others, especially the poor, the marginalized, and those who are suffering. Finally, Father, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to build our community with these young men while they were here. Though they are leaving our campus, we know that they will always be with us as a part of the CBA family, and we ask that the bonds that they have created here remain strong despite any distance. We ask this through Christ our Lord. St. John Baptist de La Salle, with Jesus in our hearts.
Delivering the salutatory address on behalf of the class of 2019, Joshua Morgan Durham.
Thank you, Mr. Rappo, for the introduction. The hardest part of the speech is already over, as you just pronounced my last name correctly. It doesn't happen too often, so thank you for that. And before we begin, I hear that relating to your audience is really important when giving a speech. So let me just say that we already all have something in common. You have no idea what I'm going to say, and frankly, neither do I. No, I'm just kidding. I actually did write a speech. Two, actually. One that I spent the last few weeks, perfecting, practicing. And the other one that I wrote on the car right here. So without further ado, here's that second one. Good evening, Bishop Emeritus Hubbard, administration, faculty, staff, family, friends, brothers, anyone else joining us here today, and my fellow graduates of the class of 2019. All right, boys, we finally made it. Give or take 12 years of schooling have led us to this very moment. All it took was a bunch of research papers, lots of marching around in circles, a couple of bronation days, and a week of finals to bring us right here. But look at us now. In a couple minutes, we're going to walk right across the stage, get our diplomas, and we're going to give our final salute, which parents, if your sons didn't let you know that, it's going to be right over there, so you're going to want to take some pictures. So a number of years ago, each of us made a choice to attend Christian Brothers Academy. Some of you became purple sweaters back in middle school, and some of you have only been here for a few years. Regardless of when you got here, though, we all ended up here today, and I wouldn't have wanted to share this moment with anybody else besides you. Man, I'm gonna miss you guys. All right, no tears. But anyways, from the good times we've had to the friendships we've forged, choosing to attend CBA couldn't have turned out better any other way. I remember back in middle school when my mother, as wonderful as she is, used to use sending me to Catholic school as a threat if I didn't behave. Rest assured, I got to doing my converting fractions worksheets in a heartbeat when she did. And yes, at the time they were just idle threats, but eventually I decided it might not be a bad idea after all, and in the end I had some of the best experiences of my life here at the Academy. Everything from JCLC the summer after freshman year to the Disney World trip junior year to grabbing a classic New York slice with Mr. Scully on the New York City trip. The friends I've made at CBA I know I will have for the rest of my life, and I'm proud to call them brothers. I'm sure most of you feel the same. Whether you, like me, were in the marching band, symphonic band, wind band, jazz band, mallet ensemble, pep band. Yeah, thanks to Miss Wade, I kind of lived and breathed band for about 4 years. Or maybe you ran track, played football, baseball, soccer, or on the color guard team, drill team, or anything else. I know that you found a group of friends, or even just a feeling that you were a part of something bigger than yourself. And although this may be the very last time that we are all together again, nothing can take away the brotherhood that we formed here. And when we do cross paths again, it will feel like time hasn't passed at all. And it wasn't only the extracurriculars that had an impact on us. We can't forget the JROTC leadership program. After all, we were ranked number 6 in military schools in America, so let's go. And one of the most unique things about our program is that the seniors, us, helped run the school, and we took on that role with flying colors. That responsibility entailed a great many things, as the class of 2018 passed the torch of leadership to us to guide and train our younger classmates. For us, this meant not only being responsible, but accountable for our actions. And yes, even I got my phone snatched by Mr. Grells. Yep, within the first few days of school, actually. Fun times. But in the spirit of good memories of our times here, I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention some of the teachers who are no longer at CBA. So there was the legendary Mr. Legata, who taught us chemistry pre and post-retirement. I'm not really sure. He retired a few times. I think he just did it last year for the sole purpose of the retirement party that we threw for him, which, that's understandable. He was like a good party. And how can we forget the great Greek, Mr. Sakaris, our world history teacher, who now owns a Across the Street pub. Great hot wings, by the way. I recommend that for anybody who's hungry. And also, I think he owns a goat farm in Greece. Don't quote me on that, but I did hear that somewhere, Mr. Stanton. So moving on. I can't go through all of them for the sake of time, but these teachers, along with a number of others who passed through the school over the years, left their mark on us, just as the existing faculty and staff have. Without them, there would be no Christian Brothers Academy. We really do appreciate everything you've done for us, like actually sticking around and not leaving us to go somewhere else where the kids are less of a handful. And we may have been just too cool to express our thanks to you all, but I'll say it for them. Thank you guys. I strongly encourage my fellow graduates not to forget to show some well-deserved appreciation to our parents and families for the sacrifices they've made and the support they've so graciously given us throughout the years. So let's hear for them too. Now, not to be a downer, but as we exit high school, the gift of their constant support won't always be there as we head out to begin the next chapter of our lives. I know that my mom won't always be there to give me something I might need in college and swing by, like she brought me my Bates literally just minutes before Mother's Review on Wednesday. But it's up to us now to remember our shoes and become responsible and productive members of society on our own. Gross, right? But hear me out. When I look out and see all of my fellow classmates seated in front of me, I see people who have the potential to one day use what they've learned at CBA to do something extraordinary. One of you may discover the cure to cancer, another one of you may invent time travel. Yeah, looking at you, Mr. Valedictorian. And some of you might go out and save people's lives. Yet others could simply brighten someone else's day. And that's no small feat, because if there's anything that we've learned from our time here at CBA, it is the importance of showing respect for others and showing concern for their happiness and well-being. That's a lot of door holding and a lot of community service hours. So now to all my brothers about to head off to pursue your dreams, just a bit of advice from me. We're salutatory. Not everything in life is going to turn out the way you want it to. And sometimes you're just going to have to accept that and roll with the punches. This thing that we call failure isn't about whether or not we fall down, but it's about whether or not we stay down. And I know none of you will stay down for long. Because even after wave is hitting you, bucket after bucket of water balloons is getting dumped on you on Bro Nation Day, you know to do what Mr. Stanton did. You get right back on up and you keep going. And if you can do that, you can do anything. That being said, the strong values and the lessons that we've learned from our time here will radiate through all that we do now and in the future. Thank you to everyone for being here tonight, and I know I speak on behalf of the entire senior class when I say that the class of 2019 is the greatest one in CBA history, and you can quote me on that. Reach for the stars, boys!
The diploma reads, the University of the State of New York, Christian Brothers Academy, Albany, New York. This diploma is awarded to the graduate in consideration of his moral and religious character and of having completed the prescribed studies in the academic course. We, therefore, after a careful examination, declare that he has attained credible proficiency in his studies and in the art of rendering knowledge available for the purposes of life. In testimony whereof, we have hereunto subscribed our names and affixed our seal at Albany, New York, this 31st day of May, 2019. Signed, Dr. James Schlegel, Principal, Mr. Charles Ava, Associate Principal, Mr. Robert Greltz, Assistant Principal. We would ask for your kind cooperation in holding your applause until all the graduates have been called. This will allow the audience to hear every graduate's name when it is called. Presenting the graduates, Mr. David Domel, class of 1971, Director of Guidance.
William Jeffrey Aldericio. Alessandro Amadeo Amore. Samuel George Andrade. I would ask that we please refrain so that the next student's name can be read. Jack Anthony English. Maxwell Grant Arena. Ronnie Asamoah. Theodore Stewart Banta IV. Taj Amir Bass. Quentin Harris Becker. Dylan Angelo Bogdan. Sean Thomas Kalagna. Britt Hammond Carmer. Joshua Morgan Carone. Brendan James Carroll. Timothy Brian Carville. Avery Michael Courts. Tucker Benden Couch. Michael James Cunningham. Benjamin Thomas Curo. Alexander Thomas Decker. Miles Joseph Desmarais. Richmond James Dill. Elijah Garrison D'Onofrio. Drew Patrick Douglas. William Charles Farron. Alexander Wilhelm Forthrop. Nathaniel David Foster. Lawrence Anthony Freeman. Eric David Fryer. David Andrew Gerson. Matthew Joseph Gerson. Douglas Edward Gum. Alec Scott Herring. Alexander Daniel Harrison. Brandon Parker Henges. Michael Christopher Hicks. James Edward Hogan IV. Joseph Francis Hogan. Ryan Joseph Hogan. Cyrus Dane Horvath. Dominic Angelo Ayani. Orville Vern Alfonso Ivy Jr. Christopher George Jorgensen. Michael Patrick Kendrick. Jordan James King. Man, that's terrible. Zachary Michael Kupiec. Connor Christopher McMorrin. Ryan Patrick Malone. Colin James Vance. Nicolo Angelo Thomas Marcucci. Tyler Robert Marini. Lewis John McCabe. Justin Jude McCarthy III. Colin Michael McDonough. Connor Alfred McGinn. Riley Christopher Moran. Michael Patrick Murray Jr. Jack Ryan O'Leary. Peter Edward O'Toole. Adam Robert Olakowski. Victor Gabriel Pagnati. Hunter Patrick Hemrick. Anthony David Pizzola. Gavin Joseph Prescott. Darian Matthew Quinn. Stephen John Ruder III. Adam Thomas Rickey. Lachlan T. Rogers. Tyler Joseph Ryan. John Andrew St. Curico. Tucker David Scaringe. Andrew Thomas Signer. Marco Peter Spataro. Ethan Bailey Stevens. Maxwell Walsh Tedesco. Connor Joseph Toomey. Andrew Crowley Trowbridge. Sebastian John Trumbull. Declan Blaze Tunney. Shane Michael Turley. Michael Edward Herschel. Braden David Van Epps. Dylan Parker Van Epps. Keegan Joseph Vetter. Luke Matthew Wagner. Nicholas Michael Warner. Christopher Robert West. Gregory William Wyman. Ladies and gentlemen,
members of the CBA Wind Band from the class of 2019 will now join the band for their final performance. Presenting the senior awards will be Dr. James Schlegel and Mr. David Donnell. The Brother Cyril Dominic FSC Memorial Award, donated by Robert W. McNeely, class of 48, in memory of Brother Cyril, is named after the popular social studies chair who had an impact upon the lives of many students here at CBA. It is presented to a senior who has demonstrated a proficiency in social studies and a love for CBA. This award is presented to Marco Peter Spataro. The Brother Francis Schwartz FSC Memorial Award is made in memory of Brother Francis Schwartz, who was an administrator and teacher of physics and calculus here at CBA for many years. In 1967, Brother prompted one of his students to use his talents in math and science to build a computer. This award goes to a senior who has demonstrated an acumen in the fields of science and math. And the award is presented to Joshua Morgan Caron. The Paleo Science Award is named after former CBA Board Chairman Dr. James H. Paleo, AFSC 53, and his wife Evelyn Paleo, AFSC, who both served dedicated careers in the health sciences. The award, donated by Charles and Michelle Paleo O'Hare in their memory, is presented to a senior who was chosen to major in science at the college of his choice. This award is presented to Sean Thomas Colonia. The Margaret Byron Scholarship. Margaret Byron was the sister of Brother Aloysius Myers, FSC, a brother who spent 50 years of his life devoted to teaching here at CBA. Mrs. Byron wished to support her brother's legacy by honoring a senior who has been diligent in his academics and who has shown a high degree of service both formally and informally to his alma mater. The award is presented to Tucker David Scaringe. The Brother Martin Hayes FSC Humanitarian Award is donated in memory of and named after a man who influenced his students through his care and concern for the students of CBA. Brother Martin encouraged his students to live Lasallian and maintain a global view of service. The award goes to a senior who has participated in service to school and community by emulating St. LaSalle's philosophy of assisting others with kindness and concern. This award is presented to Michael Patrick Murray, Jr. The Christian Brothers Academy Diligence Award recognizes a senior who has worked tirelessly over his 4 years of high school to be the best student he can be. This senior has combined a high level of dedication to his studies, along with a persona that embraces the learning process as the greatest reward. The award is presented to Maxwell Grant Arena. The First Sergeant Keith June Leadership Award. The alumni of the Matthew C. Walsh Honor Company continue to honor their longtime leader, First Sergeant Keith June, for his dedicated service to them while members of the special unit. They wish to recognize a senior JROTC cadet who has demonstrated the same leadership traits that they themselves had the opportunity to develop under the tutelage of First Sergeant Jr. This award is presented to Connor Alfred McGinn. The Matthew Christopher Walsh Class of 05 Memorial Scholarship. Matt Walsh was a member of the class of 2005 who joined the CBA student body as a sixth grader. During his freshman year, he tragically lost his life in an accident. While his high school tenure was brief, Matt was an extremely popular member of his class who embraced his classmates, the Lasallian Brotherhood, and especially the CBA military tradition by participating in honor company. The Walsh family recognizes the senior cadet who embraces the CBA military tradition in the same proud and zestful manner that Matt did so during his tenure here at CBA. This award is presented to John Andrew Sankirico. The Martin P. Pedlow Class of 1953 Outstanding Senior Athlete Award. Martin Pedlow was an outstanding student athlete during his tenure at CBA. His athletic accomplishments were such that they have earned him a place in the CBA Athletic Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Marty sustained an injury while participating in a baseball game, an injury which tragically ended his life. In his name, a senior athlete is honored for his ability, accomplishments, and attitude while representing CBA. This award will be presented to two students. They are Hunter Patrick Pemrick and Keegan Joseph Vetter. The Christian Brothers Academy Scholar Athlete Award is presented to a senior who combines excellence in athletics with excellence in the classroom. This award is presented to two students, Peter Edward O'Toole and Braden David Dennis. The Suburban Scholastic Council Excellence in Leadership Award is presented to a student athlete who demonstrates excellent leadership while competing in multiple sports in the Suburban Scholastic Council. The award is presented to Peter Edward O'Toole. The Tori A. Williams Class of 2012 Memorial Athletic Award is presented to a senior athlete who emulates the athletic talents and attitude that were demonstrated by Tori Williams, a fabulous athlete who participated in both football and lacrosse during his years at CBA. The award recognizes a student who is hardworking, talented, a great teammate, and most of all, one who possesses an enthusiasm for life and athletics, as did the namesake of this award. The award is presented to two students, Andrew Thomas Signor and Benjamin Thomas Burke. The Kevin Murphy Memorial Scholarship Award recognizes a senior student athlete who possesses a love of running and combines it with a dedication to his academic development and an unfailing love of CBA. These attributes were major components of Kevin Murphy's character, and his friends and family established this scholarship to encourage other young men to travel the same path as did Kevin. This award is presented to Alec Scott Herring. The Gene and Meredith Hay Class of '61 Athletic Award recognizes a senior student athlete who participated in football and displayed leadership, sportsmanship, and was an unselfish teammate. This award is presented to Tyler Robert Marlene. The Student Service Award, donated by the family of Nora Smith, BFSC, in memory of James J. Smith, CBA Class of 1914, is awarded to a senior who has demonstrated service to CBA by his scholarship, his service to the CBA JROTC Brigade, and his extracurricular and co-curricular activities. The award is presented to Christopher Robert West. The Edward Wimple Community Service Award, donated by the Albany Knights of Columbus, recognizes a member of the senior class for his selfless service to his community. This award is presented to Taja Amir Bass. The American Red Cross Service Award recognizes a senior for his efforts on their behalf in planning, organizing, and acting as the liaison in CBA's annual blood drive. This award is presented to Michael Patrick Murray, Jr. The Scholars Recognition Program, sponsored by the Capital Region Business and Educational Partnership, recognizes CBA's top senior scholar during a regional dinner where he receives a plaque signifying his accomplishment. We take a moment to acknowledge that accomplishment and recognize the great work done in this regard by the Capital Region Business and Educational Partnership. The student recognized this year is Sean Thomas Klein. The Blue Shield of Northeastern New York Scholar Award is presented to a senior who has distinguished himself academically at CBA and has decided to major in a health-related field at the college of his choice. The student will receive a certificate recognizing his accomplishments and his decision to major in this most needy career area. This award is presented to Nathaniel David Foster. New York State Controller Achievement Award. The Controller of New York State, Tom Stinapoli, recognizes special students from throughout the state to promote the ideal of public service among the leaders of tomorrow. Students have demonstrated academic excellence and leadership through involvement in activities that improve their school and community. The award is presented to Benjamin Thomas Gurrow. The New York State Attorney General Award. New York State Attorney General Letitia James recognizes deserving students through the Attorney General's CCC Awards program. The program searches for young people who demonstrate courage, character, and commitment to the ideals of their school and community. This award is presented to 3 students: Britt Hammond Connor Alfred McGinn, and Connor Joseph Toomey.
Let's go do it!
The Excellence in Theater Award honors an individual whose participation in the CBA Theater Department demonstrates superior effort and performance, exceptional achievement, and unique artistic contributions. The award is presented to Victor Gabriel Pignani. The De La Salle Awards. LaSallian education centers on Catholic values and personal relationships, emphasizing academic excellence, faith formation, inclusion, respect for the individual, service, and social justice. The LaSallian Spirit Awards are presented to the students who best exemplify the LaSallian values of service to the poor and needy, strong academic achievement, and involvement in extracurricular activities. This award is presented this evening to the following students: William Jeffrey Albericio, Jack Anthony Anguish, Drew Patrick Douglas, Colin Michael McDonough, Declan Blaze Honey, and Luke Matthew Wagner. The Christian Brothers Awards are presented in the memory of the brothers who have ministered at CBA for over 150 years, given to the students who best exemplify LaSallian values and personal relationships, respect for the individual, and a love of CBA. This award is presented this evening to the following students: Lawrence Anthony Freeman, Alexander Daniel Harrison, Ryan Joseph Hogan, Colin James Mance, Louis John McCabe, and Riley Christopher Moran. The Signum Fidei Award, the fire of faith and zeal that burned for more than 3 centuries in the lives of St. John Baptist de La Salle and his first disciples, continues to burn today in all LaSallians. Signum Fidei, or a sign of faith, is the distinctive spirit of the Christian Brothers, who are the founders and guiding presence of Christian Brothers Academy. The Signum Fidei Awards are presented to the students who best exemplify this attitude of faith, which expresses itself in love and zeal for the welfare of others. The award is presented to the following students: Tucker Bendon Couch, Miles Joseph A. Murray, Eric David Fryer, Douglas Edward Godin, Orville Vern Alfonso Ivy Jr., and Maxwell Walsh Tedesco. The academic awards. First in theology. This award is donated by the CBA-Alumni in memory of Brother Cyril Paul, class of 27, FSC. We have two winners of this award this evening. They are Maxwell Grant Arena and Michael Patrick Murray Jr. The Business Award, donated in memory of Brother Augustine Crawford, FSC. Next in merit, Jack Anthony Anguish. And the winner of the award, Colin Michael McDonough. The English Award is donated in memory of Thomas J. McCabe III, class of 1964. Next in merit, Sean Thomas Kalanya. And the recipient of the award, Marco Peter Spataro. The World Languages Award has been donated by the CBA Parents Association. Next in merit, Nathaniel David Foster. And the award will go to Michael Patrick Murray Jr. The award in mathematics has been donated by the family and friends of James F. Season. Next in merit, Joshua Morgan Perron. The award will be given to Sean Thomas Kalanya. The Science Award is donated in memory of Donald L. Lynch Esquire, class of 1934. Next in merit, Tucker David Scaringe. And the award will be presented to Sean Thomas Kalanya. The Social Studies Award was donated in memory of Joseph J. Casey, class of 1922, AFSC. Next in merit, Joshua Morgan Perron. The award will be presented to Marco Peter Spataro. The General Excellence Award has been donated by the CBA Board of Trustees. Next in merit, Joshua Morgan Perron. And the General Excellence Award will be presented to Sean Thomas Kalanya. Inducting the graduates into the Alumni Association will be Mr. Matthew Agan, class of 2005, Director of Alumni Relations.
Good evening. I would like to extend my personal congratulations to our graduates on this memorable day. For this portion of the ceremony, I would ask those alums in the audience today to please stand and assist me in administering the Alumni Loyalty Oath. Class of 2019, please stand. Gentlemen, I would ask that you raise your right hand and repeat after me. Alums, if you would please extend your right hand over these graduates as they make their pledge. We, the class of 2019, solemnly pledge our loyalty, cooperation, and aid to all activities sponsored by the Christian Brothers Academy Alumni Association in order to promote religious, cultural, and physical development of our alma mater. Gentlemen, I am honored to be the first to welcome you as proud alums. Thank you, graduates, and we would ask you to be seated.
Delivering the valedictory address on behalf of the class of 2019, Sean Thomas Cohen.
Good evening, class of 2019, family, friends, faculty, staff, and Bishop Emeritus Hubbard. I'm honored to spend a few minutes at the podium here tonight to reflect on how far we've come as a class and to visualize where we're going. I want to begin by giving thanks to those who helped bring us here today. A huge thanks to the teachers who have taught my classmates and me so much over these past years. You taught us more than just the subject of each class. You taught us how to learn and think and lead. Thank you to the coaches who pushed us outside the classroom to be better athletes and, more importantly, better people. Thank you to the CBA administrators and staff for making our experience at CBA something truly special that we'll never forget. Thanks to Bishop Emeritus Hubbard, Bishop Scharfenberger, Father Walsh, the brothers in the CBA community, and all the priests who have celebrated Mass with us throughout the years. Thanks to my family and the families of my graduating brothers for giving us the gift of CBA and the love and support needed to be invested with me. And most of all, thanks to my friends for all the time you've shared. Over the next few minutes, I hope each of you in the audience will feel proud of the men who graduate tonight and feel inspired by our potential and readiness to transition to the next chapter of our lives. Looking back, it's truly amazing how far we've come, individually and as a class. As individuals, we've broadened our minds, solidified our character, and become strong leaders. We've also learned many vital life lessons, including SOHCAHTOA and Western film structure. Yet collectively, we've come much farther as a class. In sports, we've reached many milestones. Our soccer team made CBA history as Section 2 champions. Jordan King became the 7th player in CBA basketball history to score 1,000 points. Hunter Pembroke became the all-time leading goal scorer in CBA hockey history. Mike Kendrick was a state tennis qualifier for his junior and senior year. In our marching band, we wound the crowds of Disney representing CBA well as we jammed down Main Street in Magic Kingdom. In the community, we've had a huge impact working together all over the capital region. Many of my most memorable experiences have been in the community. Learning to make pancakes at the Ron McDonald House, working in the fields with Latrine Lake Farm, and the most memorable was setting a new world record for the most water balloons thrown by Mr. Samuel in under 10 minutes time. On a more serious note, I also proudly remember when we rallied within our CBA community to support a beloved teacher during his fight with cancer. Mr. Fingerhut lost his fight in 2014, but his spirit and energy lives on in our memories and in the halls of CBA. My classmates remember him as jolly, approachable, and an overall great guy. While he was sick, we raised money by selling blue wristbands that read, "No one fights alone." I think that that's true of this community's fight against cancer, and true of our CBA community. Many of us have been classmates since the 6th grade. Back then, these accomplishments and our graduation today seem so far away. But now we're here, and now we want to move forward. While those lighter life lessons of storytelling and Western economic structure will undoubtedly ensure our success in life, I think there's a more important lesson that we have learned. And I think that this lesson can be summed up by a proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We've helped each other and worked together in the classroom, on the sports field, in the band, and in the community. And our impact and success as a brotherhood far exceeds our impact as individuals. So tonight, we stand before you as a class fully prepared for what the future holds. Although we have a unique story for each of us of how we got here today, we have one thing in common. Our commitment and hard work has earned us the opportunity to pursue our dreams at prestigious colleges and military programs. We are all confident that the CBA has given us the academic foundation, the character-building experiences, and the leadership skills and the courage needed to follow our passions and embark on ambitious paths. For me personally, CBA has fueled my intellectual curiosity, taught me how to think critically, and stimulated my love for math and physics. I could not be more excited to pursue these subjects at Notre Dame and join the snare line of the band of Fighting Irish in the fall. My classmates have great opportunities as well, pursuing challenging academic degrees and extracurriculars such as sports, music, and military programs. Our hard work and perseverance has rewarded us with many great opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, I've talked about the past and the present. Now let's look to the future. I have no doubt in my mind that the future holds great opportunities for each and every one of us. My advice to you is don't let any of life's opportunities pass you by. Abraham Lincoln once said the best way to predict the future is to create it. And there's no better time to predict the future than the present. So be fearless, be diligent, be strong, and take risks. Our class is pursuing college degrees in tech-driven fields such as science, medicine, engineering, and science. Think of all the positive change and innovations that we will have a hand in. One of us may cure a complex disease, design the next spacesuit, advance robotic limbs, or help solve world issues like the world hunger crisis, the world water crisis. We have boundless spirit and potential. As we embark on life's next stage, be courageous, be curious, be kind, be humble, and be happy. I'll wrap with an anonymous quote. The past is your lesson, the present is your gift, the future is your motivation. Well, CBA class of 2019, our future starts right now. Way to go, brothers, we did it.
The head of school at Christian Brothers Academy, Dr. James Schlegel.
Bishop Emeritus Hubbard, Reverend Brothers, administrators, faculty, parents, and graduates, I'm honored to speak here tonight. In 2012, our 6th grade had 19 students, and 16 of them are graduating here tonight. Jack, Max, Sean and Britt, Ben, Nate, Joe, Cyrus, Louie, Justin, Colin, Riley, Darian, Marco, Declan, and Nick. The following year, Brandon enrolled as a 6th grader and worked his way up to join the class ahead of him to graduate a year earlier. 16 of you started in 7th grade and 12 more in 8th. 35 entered as freshmen, 6 as sophomores, and 2 as juniors to bring us to the 88 members of the class of 2019. You come together from 27 school districts, 35 cities and towns, and 7 counties. You entered the school with very different backgrounds. Some urban, some rural, some suburban. But you became friends. You became classmates, teammates, bandmates, friends for life. You became brothers. Josh referred to you as the greatest class in CBA history. Every class thinks that. We shall see. Individually and in groups, you do have a long list of accomplishments. A stellar list of college acceptances and scholarships, our school's first soccer sectional championship, perfect SAT scores, 1,000-point scorer in basketball, two-time state semifinalist in tennis, and our school's all-time leading hockey scorer. 19 years ago, Eric Weinmayer became the first blind person to reach the summit of Mount Everest. One of his climbing teammates congratulated him and then quickly said, "Don't let this be the greatest thing that you ever do." After tonight, you set off to take on the world, hopefully looking to accomplish more than you have thus far. Whatever you choose to do it with passion. Follow the advice De La Salle gave to the first brothers and act in such a way through your zeal that you give tangible proof of your love. You have goals and plans, dreams and desires. The old Latin root of the word desire roughly translates to "of the stars." To have a desire in life literally means to keep your star in sight. Astronomy is the oldest of the sciences, and perhaps the oldest use of astronomy is navigating by the stars. The poet David White spent time as a marine biologist working on a ship, and he describes the presence of a guiding star. White uses the star as a metaphor for how we plan our lives. At the beginning, we run toward it, but we find very quickly that the entire journey demands a more measured pace, and a perseverance we can only learn in the pilgrimage itself. When the night of difficulty falls, we look for a star to hold us to our darkened course. But the presence of the star does not excuse us from the difficult territory through which it is guiding us. The star for you may be the star in your uniform, the one you earned, being named an honor unit with distinction by the Army JROTC program. The star may be the Lasallian Star of Faith, which represents the 5 core principles set forth by John Baptist de La Salle: respect for all people, quality education, inclusive community, concern for the poor, and social justice, and faith in the presence of God. The star is your plan at the beginning of the journey. But again, as White tells us, the presence of the star does not excuse us from the difficult territory through which it is guiding us. Even with a great plan, with supportive friends and family, with a solid foundation, there will be tough times, setbacks, failures, tragedies. But if you are to be successful, you must go on. Tuesday night, at the baccalaureate, Father Walsh told the tale of the World War II paratroopers who landed beyond the borders of their map. We can only plan so far. The maps may end, but the star will always be there. You all came to the CBA family through different paths. You came together. The brothers have an expression for how to live out the Lasallian mission that today exists in 80 countries throughout the world, together and by association. In your time here, you lived the together. As you graduate, you will live the by association. Wherever you go, you are associated with this CBA family. I'm sure that all of you at some point recently have taken some time to recall your memories of your CBA days. The Spanish word for remember is recordar, which etymologically means bring back to the heart. As you remember your time here, you will bring back to your heart the warm feelings and the love that you had for your classmates and your alma mater. In closing, I'll leave you with the words of the founder. May we be so united and closely bound together, having but one spirit, namely the Spirit of God, that we may never be disunited. As you leave to take on the next set of life's challenges, remember to make time for work, time for rest, time for play. But never forget to make time to help others. Remember to make room for all these things in your life, but always make room for Jesus in your heart. Remember that no matter where we are in the holy presence of God. I am not sure if all of your dreams in life will come true, but I am sure that they started here at Christian Brothers Academy. Congratulations, graduates. It is my honor to present the Most Reverend Howard J. Hubbard, the 9th Bishop of Albany.
Before delivering our benediction, I'd like to seize this opportunity to express to Dr. Schlegel and to all the members of the faculty, administration, board of trustees of Christian Brothers Academy gratitude and appreciation for the extraordinary academic, cultural, social, athletic, and spiritual program they have accorded these graduates in line with the vision of St. John Baptist de La Salle. I also want to congratulate and thank the parents and family members, because without your support, love, prayers, cooperation, and financial sacrifices, the diplomas which have been conferred this evening would be difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. And of course, to the members of the class of 2019, I extend my heartiest congratulations and best wishes. And I would like to suggest that if you are to fulfill the promise that each of you has, there are three very important qualities that you must continue to integrate into your lives in the days ahead. First, it is very important that you will be people of vision. People who are open to the renovating and creative power of God's Holy Spirit, who constantly challenges you to risk the unpredictable, to believe the heretofore unseen, and then to have the courage to make such reality. To be a person of vision, in other words, means to be liberated from calculated programs, plans, and patterns which promise you security and path solutions to life's challenges, so that you might allow the Holy Spirit to move you where the Spirit wills. That Holy Spirit of God will remove you into the charted courses of our unpredictable God, who is predictable only in the call to lead you from where you may have comfortably settled. I mention this because in my 55 years of ministry, I've observed so many people, including young people, who never assume a challenge, who never try anything new, because they're afraid of making a mistake and being wrong and looking bad in the eyes of others. Well, let's face it, making mistakes and being wrong is all part of being human. But if you are to grow as persons, and if you are to make that unique and distinctive contribution that God has in mind for you to make, then you must accept yourself as failure prone. You must recognize that you can fall down and mess up and goof up, but also that you can rise up and measure up and grow from your mistakes, and that progress is truly possible for you. For this is the glory of the human person that God has revealed and that history has repeatedly vindicated. I hope then that in the days ahead, you will be people of vision, people who are willing to take risks and explore new frontiers. Otherwise, you will leave the leadership in our society and world to others, or, unfortunately, is more likely to become the case. Our society and world will become leaderless, period. Second, your lives must be other-centered. When John the Baptist, Jesus' cousin, was imprisoned by Herod, he sent his disciples to Jesus to ask if he was the Messiah or were they to expect another. And the response that Jesus gave John is extremely significant. Go and tell John, he said, all that you have seen and heard. The blind see, the lame walk, the deaf hear, the lepers are cleansed, and the poor have the good news preached to them. In response to this critical question about who he was and the nature of his mission, Jesus did not appeal to his divine origins or to his messianic titles, but rather to his care and concern for the least among us. And in the Lasallian tradition, your lives must be other-centered. This is so important today because people are fed up with a computerized approach to life, where everything and everyone are reduced to to a number or to a statistic. And they want to be accepted for themselves, for their own unique history, for their own distinctive story. And thus I would submit we could have perfect programs in model communities, put everyone on a guaranteed annual income and into a decent home, and still not get to the heart of what ails modern man or modern woman. Because it is only when we give testimony to what a person means and to what love means that we do something that is truly significant. And so while it's fine to give food to the hungry, clothing to the naked, furnish to the needy, and to respond to an emergency appeal by writing a check, what is even more important is to reach out to those hurting and wounded persons in the community around you and say to them by word or deed or gesture or facial expression, I care about you, I love you, and I want you to have life to the full. And thirdly, finally, it is important that you have a deep and abiding trust in God's providence. In my 80 years of life, I don't think I've ever seen our world and society so polarized and filled with such tension and marginalization as I do today. In the face of such, you can well become discouraged or disillusioned, losing sight of the fact that renewal of our world and society is not a romp for a few years of intensive work, but a long, hard, arduous process that not only will extend beyond the lifetime of any one of you here present. And that is why it is so important that you have patient endurance that can carry you through the many winters that it takes to change attitudes and structures. That is why you must seek to avoid the pitfall of what I would call instant antiquity, the pitfall of thinking the problems, challenges, and crises with which you are confronted are the most serious of all time. And this is simply because you have not experienced the pain of other crises, of other challenges, of other periods in history. If therefore you are going to make that contribution that God has in mind for you to make, then it's important that you recognize that you live in a society and world where few areas are all black or all white, but where various shades of gray predominate. If you are going to make a contribution to those with whom you live and interact, it is important that you live in a society that enables you to reach out to others and to recognize that we are living in a society where each of us has something important to contribute, something unique and distinctive that only we can truly do and accomplish. And that is why I'm not suggesting that you accept values and ideals which are less than perfect, but it's to recognize that you live in a world and society where few areas are all black or all white, or where various shades of gray predominate. And if you are to make your contribution in such a world and society, then you must recognize and appreciate that you and you alone can make a contribution that no one else can make, and that you and you alone can be the difference in another person's life. And if you have that sense of real understanding and trust in God's providence, then this will enable you to truly become the persons that God has in mind for you to make, and will enable you to make those contributions that will make our world a different and better place. Congratulations, best wishes, and Godspeed to all. Let us pray. O faithful God, thus we pray the 2019 graduates of Christian Brothers Academy and all of their family, friends, and faculty who have gathered here this evening to wish them well as they anticipate the next stage of their educational development and formation. We praise you, O God, for the many gifts of mind, heart, and purpose which you have bestowed upon our graduates and which have energized their progress in learning during their years at Christian Brothers Academy. Embolden them to expand their knowledge and their gifts with a caring spirit and to persist in their search for wisdom, truth, justice, and peace in a world wounded by violence, injustice, and disregard for human dignity. It is with gratitude that we ask your blessing of God upon the Christian Brothers community, the administration, faculty, staff, board members, benefactors, students, and alumni who have helped to forward the mission of Christian Brothers Academy. For all this we pray, O gracious God, as we rejoice in and give thanks for your loving providence for your people, both now and forever and ever. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, please remain standing for the singing of our Alma Mater. Please remain standing for the retirement of the colors by the CBA Color Guard. On behalf of the administration, I would like to thank Bishop Hubbard and the Wind Band under the direction of Ms. Sarah White. I would also like to thank the JROTC department for Wednesday night's review and Mr. O'Leary for Tuesday's baccalaureate mass. On behalf of the graduates, I would like to thank the parents for making this day possible.